Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner, and today is going to be the first official, kind of sort of official, Christmas in July. This is the first time I've done one. This is going to be a Christmas in July series, starting off with all of the fun club kits from Spellbinders for this month. I've already done the unboxing video. If you haven't seen that one yet, check out the playlist. I'll leave that video in the cards up here in the corner for you guys. But the first card video that I'm doing is actually using the embossing folder of the month and the clear stamp and die. And yes, I keep on looking down at the cards because this is just lovely. Anyway, stay tuned because I'm going to show you exactly how I made this card and a couple more. Yeah, I couldn't make just one. I feel totally fine doing 2 or 3 or more of a specific design because that's perfect for getting all of your Christmas cards done really fast. And this is a clean and simple but a very, very shimmery and shiny and pretty design. So you guys enjoy the video and let's go ahead and get to it. Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today we're going to be playing with some of the new club kits from Spellbinders, starting off with the embossing folder of the month. This one is called Christmas Wrap Pattern, and I also want to try out some of the new Lisa Horton interference inks, and I think this is going to be pretty cool. I mean, I did do a little test on the green because I wasn't 100% sure, because the way that these work is usually when I saw them at Creativation, it was a comparison between black and white cardstock. So I did just a little touch of the ink on the edge of a piece of cardstock, and this is some dark green cardstock, but you can see that gold, and that is from the interference ink. So this ink pad is actually blue. So on white, it's going to be blue. On green, it looks like it's going to be gold. I know that that's kind of the color that it's supposed to be for black, because I did do a sample. Anyway, I'm going to try this out, and I think what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to put the ink on basically the background part. So it should be gold with the design in dark green. So we're going to see how that one does. I'm just going to go and just kind of cover the entire thing on here. And because I'm doing that flat part, it's not getting down into the grooves. And that is kind of what I'm wanting. I don't want it to go down into the grooves. And if I don't cover the entire panel, that's okay, because I do tend to trim all of them down. This is putting it down a little bit better. So doing a twist, which I don't normally do because of it being an embossing folder, and I don't want to get everything down in the middle. If it goes into some of those other pieces, that is totally fine too. And this is kind of an experiment. I've only done this technique a couple of times. Turned out pretty cool. So you can see that is blue ink, right? So I'm going to put this down onto my card panel on the other side and then fold this down flat and then hold it in place while I put it through my die cutting machine. Since this is a regular embossing folder, you can put it through your regular die cutting machine. Shouldn't be a problem. You don't need the adapter plate and all of that good stuff that comes with the universal plate system. So the system you can still use with your regular embossing folders just as well as the 3D. Although I do love the 3D too. Okay, let's go ahead and crank that through. I think I'm going to go both directions. Give it a chance to really press into the cardstock. So one more time. Yes, I am probably going overboard with this, but that's okay. Okay, that is pretty. Now there are some areas where I think I did a little bit too much, but you can definitely see that texture and that design, and I think that that is just lovely. This is going to make for a couple of really pretty cards. Next, I'm going to use the clear Stampin' Die. Now, I'm going to be die cutting all of the things out, so I'm kind of wanting to be able to use that centerpiece to cut out the sentiment area and have everything lined up pretty much the same way it was on the acetate. So I put the stamps on top of the acetate, and now I'm just going to position them onto my card, because I'm also wanting to put some of the other pieces and use up some of that other space, since all of this is going to be die cut anyway. Just need to have it far enough away from the outside of my card so it doesn't cause a problem with the die, which it shouldn't regardless. And let's see if this picks up like I expect it to. Okay, so now I can peel off my acetate and everything fits. That is fabulous. Okay, so let's take a look. I do have some space over here on the side to be able to add some more of these little pieces. So we've got, it looks like anise, I think, a little berry floral thing, and of course some holly. And if they don't fit, I will just move them around until I have them positioned where I can do them all. That looks good. So it looks like I do have room for those three on there too, and a little bit of extra too if I want to use anything. The only two things I have not stamped out were two additional stamps, which I think would be fabulous to go on the inside of the card. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp these down. I'm going to do some stamping and embossing using my VersaFine Clair Nocturne. These are some pretty detailed stamps, and I think that's the only way that I'm going to ensure that you get to see all of that detail. And I think that looks pretty good. Let me go ahead and cover that in some embossing powder and heat it up. And I did just notice that my "and a happy new year" is a little bit crooked, but I think that it's close enough that whoever gets this probably isn't going to notice. I will move it before I do another stamping though, which I think I'm going to do this on a couple of different colors with a couple of different embossing powders, because that is really, really pretty. So one thing I did notice when I was doing the embossing is when I'm stamping with my VersaFine Clair, all of the details are very, very distinct and it looks lovely, absolutely lovely. And then of course I went over with the clear embossing powder, so it basically is right where I need it, right? This looks very crisp and clean. When I did embossing with some of the others, first off I used my my Wow embossing ink, which I had re-inked recently, so it's a little bit too juicy. And I was also using some Recollections from Michael embossing powder, both the white and the gold, because I did a couple of different versions, and the images are not quite as crisp and clean. And I think that is mostly due to the embossing ink, not necessarily the embossing powder, but I think the combination does mean you get a lot more coverage with the white. Let's just put it that way. You do get a lot more coverage, but you don't get quite as much detail. It still is very, very pretty. You need to make sure that you know that you are going to have a bit of a difference depending on what you're using with your stamp. Now, I've known this for a while. I just never really think about it. I never actually mentioned it to you guys, so I thought I would add that in today. I'm also going to add a little bit of color. So I'm starting off with this black and white image, and I'm going to add a little bit of color to my pine and the foliage, all of the good stuff that's in here, just adding a little bit. I'm not going to go overboard, and I'm not doing any kind of, you know, special things with this, because you know what? These images are so good, you don't really need it. I'm using a couple of different colors of green. This one is a darker, my AG5. All of these are Spectrum Noir. And then this one is AG3, which is a lighter. And I'm going to kind of come back in on this one because I think this one turned out a little bit darker than what I was wanting. So again, I'm just adding a little bit of color in to break up some of that stark white and black. And not really doing anything special with this. For the holly, I am going to put my darkest in the center of each of the leaves and then come back in with the lighter color. And trying to avoid the places with the berries because I do want to add a little bit of red in with this. And then our mistletoe. Okay, I think that's going to be enough of the, well, almost enough of the greens. I'll add in that little touch of red real quick so that those pieces are done, and then I can go in and work on my little pine cones. I think that's all of the red that I'm seeing on there. That's fine. So now I'm coming in with my EB3, which is kind of a medium brown, and coloring in my pine cones with it. Now with that, it really doesn't matter a whole lot on there. You can go as light or as dark as you want, and I don't think you really need a lot of shading with that because of all of the details that are already in there. It's already got the shading already added for you. So I think that's about all that I need on there. It's going to just add a little bit of color. Next, what I'm going to do, I decided I want to use this lovely, lovely background. I went ahead and cut half. Actually, this is the wrong piece. I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So it's going to leave a little bit of a border around it. And I'm going to put a piece of green, plain green cardstock behind my window because that way it's not quite so busy in the center. I also want to add a little bit of dimension, so I've put some foam tape on the back of my frame, and I'm just going to gently pick up that center part with this because of course the foam is a little bit overlapped, and so that gives a little bit of dimension with that illusion that this is the background of my card. So it's going to go like that. I think that's going to be nice. Now I'm going to add some more adhesive to the back so I can center that into the center of my panel. Okay, I think that looks fabulous. And now I can add my sentiments. I've got the Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I've also cut out an additional die cut of each of those. So I'm going to add that one additional die cut to the back of these. You can do as thick as you want. Really just depends on how much dimension you want to add. So I've got my Merry Christmas, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the Happy New Year. And then I'm going to add those right into that little window. And then I decided I'm going to pop that up onto a black card base. It's going to give that little matte layer right around the edges. And I go ahead and put that down with just tape runner. that finishes up these 3 cards. They're all a little bit different, but I think I like this one the best. Absolutely. It was just so pretty. Anyway, here's just a couple of ideas of using those 2 products from the club kits for this month. We've got the embossing folder of the month and the clear stamp and die of the month, and you can create some wonderful Christmas cards to get ready for the holiday season. Thank you guys for checking in with me, and be sure to check out this playlist to see more videos where I'm using Spellbinders products. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.